Greetings, YouTube. Look at this. Look, it's me. It's you. It's Oklahoma. I made it. I drove through the night. All night. All night. I'm running on 3 hours of sleep. I still have some of the same health issues that followed me into my car for 9 hours. But you know what? It was going to flood in South Texas, so I took a chance. And I am back in my recording studio. I did not think this would be the first video that I posted from it. I just recorded the results of the next champion we are hunting for on this channel, God willing. It won't take 9 months from now to get him. Like, it took almost 10 months to get our previous champion, the Dad Bod. So stay tuned for that video. But remember how I said that we didn't have daily cards? Well, we do now. We do now. And also for the first time, I have to say, we have a Thronebreaker daily card according to the banner in front of my face. I give more details and more of a thank you in the next video I just recorded that I'm going to post after this. But thank you to everybody who's sent love and support. I even have people who've said, Prof, I hate your channel. I wish you would go away. But you seem like a nice enough dude to where I hope you don't die. Pretty low bar for a compliment, but I appreciate the support, even if it's worded like that. Okay, so we're going to pretend that this is July 1st, because that's normally when... oh, it's left to right now. Okay. We are starting with the Contender Fragment Daily card, so we're not back to everybody's uncollected if you're above level 5 conversations. And we have a class-based 5-star Awakening Gem included in a contender card. That is a contender for best contender card ever. In fact, I don't think there's even a discussion. I think that's absolutely what that is. And it's a 2-week card. So all these, since we missed out on July 1st, which is normally... These are 14-day, 2-week cards instead of what they are normally. But, you know, everything else in this... kind of just a bonus. This is basically a 5-star Awakening Gem crystal for $30. Are contenders really going to care about not even half of a tier 2 alpha or tier 4 class catalyst fragment crystals or 5-star +5 signature stone crystals, not the generics? Probably not. But I still got to say, for contenders, I got to remind myself who that even is for. It's for beginners, not even conquerors or uncollected. You're going to have a hard time finding that during the year for a better price than $30. I realize some of you just spent, a lot of you just spent the money, maybe you don't have money to spend, but I'm going to give that for contenders. And look, if you're talking about even uncollected and above, you probably don't need it. But if you're looking for a 5-star Awakening Gem crystal, especially because even when they put it in the side quest, it's usually for people who have the roster to actually compete and contenders won't, I'm going to give it an A. Yeah. We got to be objective on this channel, you know? We got to give Kabam roses when they deserve it, the flowers as the kids say. And then we'll, you know, criticize them when they don't, but they deserve it, not that one. Okay, so from $30 to $50, we're jumping by $20 American. 2,800 tier 5 basic catalyst fragments. That ain't that big of a deal for Cavalier. Again, tier 2 alpha, but it's a very small amount. After 2 weeks, it's just over half, which is not much more than you get at all for the $30 price tag of the contender. But here's where it gets interesting. You have a plus SIG 200 signature stone. Now here's where this item, because I love it. I wish Kabam, because it sounds cool, right? It sounds amazing, but rarely do people have 5-star champions at SIG 1, unless it's maybe Nick Fury. Rarely does somebody just put an Awakening Gem into them and just leave them. Chances are they're anywhere from SIG 20 to SIG 180. You can't have the overflow of what you go past SIG 200 with this item. So let's say that you have somebody who's SIG 40 and you use the signature stone to take them to SIG 200. Well, you're basically sacrificing 40 SIGs than if you'd saved it for somebody else. Instead of the plus 200, I've always said it makes way more sense to give summoners the equivalent of this, and what I would do, because SIG stones are pretty common with 5 stars at least. I would do, gosh, let's say 40 plus 5s instead. Because as cool as the Signature Stone plus 200 item is, like, also, let's be real, the plus 200 item is strange because it really should say plus 199. Because max Sig is Sig 200 and you can't put Sig stones into somebody who's awakened, and if they're awakened, they're Sig 1. So it's more for show than anything else. If Kabam really wants us to have the benefit of 200 Sigs, it should be broken up into those individual Signature Stone bundles that we can purchase and use on several champions or the same champion. It's also worth noting that there are 2,500 6-star shards right now and $50 worth of gold. I would give this at least a B plus if this had the power of 200 generic Signature Stones, but it doesn't. It's more for show. And because of that, I anticipate there are going to be some ticked off people who would love to take their Aegon, their newly acquired Aegon. Kabam's doing all this because they know a lot of people have a bunch of new champions that they didn't have 2 weeks ago or a week ago. And so they want to capitalize on it, but it's way more beneficial to players if they're able to actually have the 6 stones to put into several champions versus just, like I said, what it looks like in this, which is sort of like window dressing for something that doesn't actually exist. I'm going to give it a C+. I'm not as impressed on the item as they want me to be. All right. Throne Breaker Daily Card. 2 weeks, $50. You got a Tier 5 basic catalyst and then some worth of fragments. My guess is, if you're like me, between Tier 2 Alpha and Tier 5 basic, you are probably already chilling with a bunch in your overflow. I'll show you what my Tier 2 Alpha overflow looks like in a second. It is pretty dang crazy, though, that in 2 weeks, 14 days, you'll have 119,000. I've never seen that before. Let's just make sure we don't butcher the math. 119,000 divided by 36,000. 3.3, if I'm doing that right. Almost 4 fully formed Tier 2 Alpha worth of fragments. And then a 6-star rank up Gem Crystal from rank 1 to rank 2. You're going to have some greedy people who are like, what about the rank 2 to rank 3? Not for $50. Half a 6-star, which would get me to a 6-star crystal tonight. And 1 million gold. Wow. For $50. I'm not going to give this an A because it's not a generic rank up gem. It's a crystal. So you could easily land on a class that you don't need. And the algorithm likes to give you the class you don't need. But for $50 for what Thronebreakers are used to paying, and just etch-a-sketch your brain on what you remember July 4th weekend offers being. Those are outliers. You cannot compare them with an average deal or even a monthly deal and expect the same grade unless you just plan to spend 2 to 3 times a year, and that's fine, but then these videos don't matter to you anyways. They're irrelevant. You don't spend money. I'm going to give it a B. Like almost a B+, like an 86. I think it's a solid Thronebreaker deal. And I am somebody who, in my overflow, I just have so many Tier 2 Alpha. Like, check this out. I've never, ever had just a whole couple layers of Tier 2 Alpha. But I do now. I also promised the audience before we left that I would remind everybody who's a contender. That's completing Act 2. Yeah, that's amazing. We don't even talk about contenders. Act 2 people have a chance to get a 5-star Awakening Gem Crystal. Yes, it's not a generic, but Kabam's never given that to those people. That's awesome. All right, let's make sure this video doesn't run into 10 minutes. I don't want to ramble more than I have to the first video I post on my channel back. Thank you again for your support of my channel. Be on the lookout for which champion we're hunting for tonight in a poll results video with some shout-outs in a couple hours. Until then, have a good one.